This is Adam Watson.
This is Trini Watson.
This is the Dark Slayer Mafia Power Hour.
Where it's a quarter of the hour and...
Might be a half of the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows. Today we're going to be taking a look at Darker Image #1, obviously by Image Comics, featuring Sam Keith, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, William Messner-Loebs. This cover, I love.
Yeah.
Have you ever read any of the older superhero Image titles? Like the stuff they actually start out with? Youngblood, Supreme, Darker Image, Maxx. I know Maxx is second year, but still.
Yeah, I've read Maxx, and I had a couple issues of Youngblood. I don't remember if I actually read them or if I just looked at the art.
So this was the first Image comic I read as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, going to comic shops was incredibly rare for me, right?
Right.
But as I mentioned before, my stepdad worked for a company that picked up all the unsold newsstand comics, and he'd bring us stuff home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he brought home a copy of this for both my brother and I when we were kids, and I had no idea who the characters in this were.
Yeah.
Nor did I know things like Rob Liefeld had created a bunch of the X-Force characters that I liked, anything like that, right?
Yeah.
What I knew about comics then is not what I know now. I like the Keith signature. Is all folded up and blowing away right there, by the way.
Yeah.
But what I did know is that I loved this cover, and I still love it. It's got a weird marbly texture effect for the background, but the actual central images for this style, I love. Mm-hmm. It would have actually been cool to see Sam Keith doing all three stories, but I think the art works in it. So let's crack it open and take a look. So this is the introduction to the Maxx. Mm-hmm. This is where he appears before he appears in his own solo story. So you can tell this is an early Image book because Malibu Comics is still listed there. Oh. Malibu Comics published Image for, I think, the first 2 years. They had to deal with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things here is that later on in the Maxx series, whenever he's in the Outback, which is where he's at in this particular story, you'll see him with a headdress, and he looks more tribal than what he does in this.
Yeah.
So this is something that artists should take note of with the sound effects here. Mm-hmm. You notice in these that I complain about sound effects a lot, right?
Right.
And one of my biggest complaints is that the sound effects don't look like they match the world that they're in, right?
Right.
You can tell Sam Keith is actually drawing those sound effects in.
Yeah.
And that, to me, makes a huge difference. Those look like they were made to be in this world because they are. They're actually drawn in. They're not a computer technique, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I think that adds a lot.
Right. Plus, it's cool seeing how it's dividing up the panels and everything.
Yeah.
What kind of creativity you can get from stuff
like
that.
At this point, when I read this, I was familiar with Sam Keith's artwork because I had picked up Marvel Comics Presents, where he had Wolverine in it, and Cyber is Wolverine's enemy in it. And Cyber, in ways, kind of just looks like an evil version of the Maxx. You know, he's a guy with like a half mask, has these weird sort of little claw hands. Yeah. You know, he has similarities to the Maxx, I would say. So I already had a taste for Sam Keith's artwork when this came out. Mm-hmm.
Does it ever show how the Maxx eats anything?
I don't know.
It's got like
I've read all the comics, but I don't recall. So yeah, this works really great. The scale. He's hiding, you see this huge thing coming, but then as it gets closer to him, you realize just how gigantic it actually is.
Yeah.
And everything he's describing seems like it's from a completely other world.
Yeah. I love the perspective.
The perspective is great. Mm-hmm. A lot of artists could learn a ton about perspective just by studying this again and again and again.
Yeah.
The Maxx looks super tiny in every single panel comparatively with this huge. I know he names it, but I'm not gonna try and say the name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Chug-a-Wug.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And then he bursts through the wall of the Jungle Queen's place, and she stabs him again and again. And it turns out there's Julie Winters just plunging sedative into him, which I do wonder, because like this all changes by the time the Maxx series comes out, right?
Yeah.
Like there's changes to the characters even by then. The designs are pretty set in, but the interactions do change a bit.
Right.
I don't recall, I could just not remember it maybe, but I don't recall Julie ever giving Maxx sedatives in the Maxx comic. And I wonder, like, why is she giving, why does Julie have sedatives in her apartment? Who gave them to her? She's not a nurse, she's a social worker.
If you have somebody that's like 8 feet tall and 500 pounds just crashing through your window, I think you'd learn to pack some sedatives too.
That's true. But, the writer in me is wondering, why does she have these sedatives? Are they black market sedatives?
Oh, who knows?
Did she buy a pack of black market sedatives just so that she could sedate the Maxx? Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever the case, everything about this looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I really, really like the way her hair is colored here.
Yeah, the wildness of it all.
Blonde is a weirdly hard color to do for hair. And I like not just the wildness of it, which works really well, but I like the way that it has no hard lines around it. Yeah. That it's almost glowing. That works really, really well in this. And then when she becomes Julie, of course, there are hard lines around it. Mm-hmm. But
it's
I think that looks great.
It's like in the air, like she's a ghost.
Right. And then a phenomenal Sam Keith Maxx pinup. Mm-hmm. This splash page alone is worth what this book will probably run you, which should be about 50 cents to $1, because you can easily find this thing in 50-cent dollar bins at all comic shops that have them, at all Comic Cons. So yeah. Overall, Maxx story, love it. Mm-hmm. Actually makes me want to go back and reread all of my Maxx hardcovers.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to Rob Liefeld's Blood Wolf. Mm-hmm. So this is a character that as a kid, I actually tried to track down issues of, but could never find.
Really?
Yeah, because I do like this story. I know a lot of people give Rob Liefeld a lot of shit for just swiping characters and so on and so forth. I don't think that this is a swipe necessarily as much as I think it's an homage, right?
Yeah.
There's one thing in particular that makes me think that. And if you're unaware of what I think he's homaging in this, it's Lobo, right?
Yeah.
But there was an interview Rob Liefeld did in the Comics Journal as he was leaving Image, where he talks about how he made his own company's versions of characters because isn't that what you're supposed to do, right? Mm-hmm. He's not wrong when he says that when it comes to superheroes anyway. How many superheroes are just takeoffs of Superman?
Yeah.
I mean, even Invincible, isn't Omni-Man just a retelling of Superman as an evil guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also something that is done in The Boys.
Yeah, but The Boys is intentional. Like every superhero archetype, parody, whatever you want to say, in that is intentionally lampooning a Marvel or a DC character.
Right.
So that one is kind of different.
Yeah.
But more my point is, like, how many companies at this point have made their own version of Superman? Mm-hmm. DC has more than one version of Superman.
Yeah.
And so I guess there are some characters that people view as more sacred to do that with than others. Right. Like Lobo was a relatively new character when this came out, right?
Yeah.
All the same, though, there are things here I really like. I love that his ship is a gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I actually like the design of Blood Wolf. Maybe it's because I had come from the 90s. Right. So this harkens back to, a time period for me. Yeah. But is his design a little bit on the weirdly stupid side? Sure. But
with his Vegeta hair that stands up.
His Vegeta hair and then the red, like, wolf face going on.
Yeah.
All the same, I love it. Oh, so I wanted to mention, in the Maxx story, they mentioned Youngblood, right?
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because she says something about is Maxx one of them young bloods.
Oh, okay.
And then in the Death Blow story, they bring up Savage Dragon. So in the early days of Image, you had all these guys, Jim Valentino, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, who were all doing their own individual independent work, right?
Right.
But they were trying really hard to tie it into a shared universe. I like the way that they did it in these, where the characters are just kind of briefly mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that's an okay way to do a shared universe. Like if you're trying to get the idea across that it's a shared universe, like in Ghost Assassin, for instance, Ghost Assassin isn't set in the same world that Nosferatu, the motivational vampire, is, right?
Yes.
But there's an issue coming up where the TV's on and it's an old black and white show that's Nosferatu, the motivational vampire. So in one world, Nosferatu is very much a real character. In another world, he's a TV show. These are just kind of ways that you can kind of link your world. And I think it was done pretty well back then for the Image guys.
Yeah.
And then
his shape language is so wild. 1,
2, 3, 4. Rob Liefeld does in fact draw feet, Same.
Proof.
But this is why I think it's an homage, not a ripoff. That's Lobo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you realize that as you were reading it?
Yeah, I looked at that and I'm like, this motherfucker's Lobo.
Yeah. I don't think if you're just outwardly trying to steal something that you're going to put the character in. Yeah. That reads more like homaging to me.
Yeah.
Not like I know I wasn't there at the time, but I'm just saying.
Right. How do you feel about these arrows that keep pointing at things and having little word balloons in them, or like words?
So I'm gonna have to go back and reread Lobo to see if that was also a reference to that. But considering that this story doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever, I think it works.
Okay.
If I saw something like that in Spider-Man, I would think it was stupid.
Right.
But if I see it in something where it's lighthearted, it's funny, but it's still violent, that kind of thing, like this story is, I actually think it works. What do you think?
I thought it was great. I thought, like, with Rob Liefeld's style and everything, like, it fit right in with everything else, like, extra campy, extra, like...
Yeah, it's supposed to be goofy.
Yeah.
So, the oh crap, though, I will say, it could have been black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little hard on the eyes. But overall, like, all the backgrounds are nicely done.
I love how his hair almost covers this guy's eye.
Yeah. And I like that his leg is basically just pouches.
Yeah, no.
He's got the billions of pouches everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know
all of these belt buckles.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be exactly.
Yeah, you know how big of a pain in the butt buckles are to draw? Like, this man sat down and drew how many belt buckles for this story?
I know. There's so many pouches on Lobo, too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Lobo was a character who had pouches. But I do know that this guy would have a hell of a time getting dressed every time he went somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then this guy just gets his head blown clean off. Which when I saw, I did laugh.
Yep.
I don't know why, but it made me laugh.
There's just something about his eyes spurting out and,
Right?
Just the blood everywhere. It's glorious.
And then the biggest tell that it's the 90s. 92 teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like this with the cartoony question mark.
And the
I actually thought it added to the story.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's campy, it's goofy, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not taking itself seriously. And now we come to the page that I stared at for 45 minutes as a kid.
Oh?
Yes, like I said, my stepdad brought this home for my brother and I, right? And we're both reading at the same time. I get to this page, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because that's cable, right?
Right.
It's cable.
That's just straight up cable.
With one of the lines missing. but it's just straight up Cable.
Yeah.
Now, at the time that I was reading this, I didn't make the connection that this guy who was doing this story was the same guy who created Cable.
Yeah.
So, homage, ripping off, well, you can't really homage or rip off yourself exactly, can you?
Yeah.
I just kind of view that as I created this character and I'm taking him back. That's more the way it kind of reads to me, right?
Right, because he's literally Cable, except there's a couple
He's
of
literally
lines
Cable. There's
they're gone.
a couple of lines. There's a single line that's gone.
It's a single line.
So I just kind of view that as I created him, I'm taking him back, and, sue me if you want, right?
Yeah, you can't stop me.
But as a kid, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, what the hell? Why is the guy who leads X-Force in this comic? Like, that's the guy who leads X-Force. That's like legitimately him. Mm-hmm. And so I couldn't understand why was Cable appearing in this, like, whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
And my brother came up with this really weird explanation about how you have to change 7 things for something to not be the same as a copy, a written thing, right? Of course, he said patented back then because, he was such a good lawyer that he understood the difference between copyright and patent, right?
Right.
And so we're like sitting there, I was like, maybe he's right, I don't know. But we got out an X-Force comic and we're comparing it, trying to see if we could spot 7 differences between this guy and Cable. Because he legit was like very convincing about it. No. If you change 7 different things about a drawing, it's no longer, what do you call it, like patent fraud or something like that.
Hey, maybe Cable has 7 less teeth than this guy.
Maybe. Whatever the case, reading it now as an adult, I understand that a whole lot more. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the scene that I know you didn't see coming because I heard you while you were reading this.
Yep.
You somehow didn't realize that ship was a gun.
This comic is so wild. It's great.
Yeah, one of the things that all the comic industry magazines lampooned Liefeld for back then was how gigantic his guns were, right?
Yeah, they've never read any kind of manga or
far
anything.
From the only one who was drawing giant guns back then. But he did draw some big ass guns. But the way I saw this is he was trying to put his stamp on the fact that, like, you're not going to draw a bigger gun than me.
Yeah. I
just drew the biggest damn gun there is, right?
Right.
Yep. And then he laughs and goes off on his merry way. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then he laughs again. So.
Great image. I love how, like, 90s, you just have so many teeth, hundreds of teeth.
Right?
That's something that needs
I
to be
love
brought back.
the fact that whatever the hell this has all been about is a pouch.
Yep.
That works for me.
Yeah. Pouch that blows up the whole planet.
Overall, I obviously have read all the Maxes at this point, right? Yeah. Except for the one that eludes me that I unfortunately had to sell back in the day before I got a chance to read it. Years ago, I had to sell off a good portion of my collection, right? Mm-hmm. And I got Gay Comics, I believe it's issue number 24. Okay. Which has a very rare appearance of the Maxx in it. Oh. Unfortunately, that was something. So I wasn't being picky about what I listed. I was just trying to get all the money that I could, right? Mm-hmm. I listed that and it sold within like 2 hours. Dang. Yeah. So never did even get a chance to read it. That's one that I want back really bad. Yeah. But Blood Wolf, I don't know if I'd read anything written in the here and now about him, but if there's anything that's actually from this time period, I'd give it a try because that was actually a fun story. Why not? Yeah.
Exactly.
Young Blood, Bloodshot. Huh. Go back to that for a second. Okay. So, this is Deathmate Red is what this is. Oh. Yeah, but I wonder if they were just thinking about doing his Young Blood, Bloodshot crossover, judging by this.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Interesting. And then we get to the Jim Lee Deathblow story. Yes. So, there's a lot of criticism for this story because people think that Jim Lee was aping Frank Miller's style too much, right? Mm-hmm. I actually don't see that. It's not that I don't see the Frank Miller influence. I do.
Right.
It's that, to me, this looks like an artist who's trying something different than what he's known for.
Yeah.
And I like the art.
Yeah.
I like the coloring and the artwork a lot. I like the fact that it's all just grays with this sort of a blood red stripe going over his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that works for me. What doesn't work for me is there's not really a story here.
Yeah, it's a lot of words and not much else.
No. So, Death Blow is getting a ride from a guy, and there's a whole lot of words, but they don't really tell you why, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is another example, once again, of how accents written into comic dialogue often do not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps saying, what is it, day? Day?
Yeah. You enjoy day sun and catch day sights.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be in South America, right?
Yeah.
And as comic readers, we recognize that accent is Gambit's, is Cajun.
Yeah, Cajun.
So, yeah, it just comes across as weird, but it's also... unless you're like a really expert writer, just stay away from those sort of accents. They do not work.
Yeah.
I like the silhouette of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish that it was colored slightly darker, but all the same, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Deathblow ends up killing this guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure why. I have no idea why. I do know that is the biggest explosion I've ever seen a gun make, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the last story, Liefeld's like, I have the biggest gun in the world. And then Lee's like, ha, I don't need a big gun to have a massive explosion. Like, is it a grenade going off? I don't know.
It seems like overkill to do a grenade because the sound effects are blam blam.
Right.
So it's like that's two gunshots from a cannon.
Which he does have a cannon looking thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of works.
Yeah.
This is probably the most like Miller-esque.
Right.
Out of the whole entire thing here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they already knew about Deathmate when they did the Young Bloodshot. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was another Young Bloodshot thing that was planned. I don't think it ever happened if there was, though. And then I think this is the first appearance of John Lynch. So, do you know who John Lynch is?
No.
He is basically the Professor Xavier to the Gen 13 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is where it gets really hard and confusing to read, though, for me. We have this guy in silhouette. I have no idea who the guy in silhouette is. I'm not sure if this is also John Lynch, because I think, if I remember right, John Lynch does smoke in Gen 13. But I don't think it is, because that doesn't look like Lynch's suit is the cigarettes being snuffed out. But there's a conversation I was like, is this between 2 people, 3 people, 4 people? I really couldn't tell. Could you?
No.
No. And it's basically just talking about what a badass Bloodshot is. Mm-hmm. And how they have to go after him because he's gone rogue now that he has cancer.
Yeah.
That's the whole conceit, basically, right?
Yeah.
This guy really looks like Beast before Beast mutated with the fur to me.
Yeah, Hank McCoy.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like how Hank is drawn when he's drawn is something other than like the blue fur ball. Yeah, so, yeah, the whole dialogue is just about him being a badass. And that's really it.
Yeah. He's not supposed to be a badass. They gotta go hunt him down now. Right?
Yeah. It's a whole lot of dialogue just to tell you that he's a badass and they're going to go hunt him down.
Yeah.
And then sets up and introduces the team to a degree. It's not like you really know much about him. There's some really nice silhouette work done here.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like all the grates in the sewer.
Yeah.
The way they're colored here, though, makes me wonder, are they supposed to be, like, covered in sewage?
I don't think there's...
Maybe that's not a sewer. Maybe that's just, like, a tunnel.
Helicopter, I think.
Oh, they in a helicopter?
Yeah, because
the way he has this around his midsection, I thought they were in water.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out, but the way that his body is and everything, I'm pretty sure this is actually the the inside.
This is a little bit too stylized to really make sense out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then back to the conversation. The conversation is confusing as hell. I don't know how many characters are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And then so overall, what do you think?
I think I enjoyed every single story in a different way. All of them brought something different and really cool to the table.
Deathblow is the least interesting to me, but I still like the artwork in it. I like it enough that I would actually go check out the actual Deathblow comic.
Yeah.
Blood Wolf is kind of stupid fun. The Maxx is the Maxx.
Yeah.
Maxx is great.
You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, you got anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's go make some comics. We didn't create the comics that were featured in today's episode, but we did create these. Check out Ghost Assassin in the Cards and the Chihuahua Who Flew Away mini comic, both of which were written by me. The Chihuahua Who Flew Away was illustrated
by me.